We still do 7 NUFC Matters shows for free a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications option. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatters1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Critics attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true.
And it feels alright when they come and say to you, you're the only thing that makes us all believe. And it feels alright where the worlds collide. Manipulation stands to make us break.
What's that you said coming over you? You wish it upon a star. You wish it on a star. You are, you are, you are. You fight back, it's an all-out attack. It feels like I've been taken on the world's machine. Because I want it more than anyone can dream. You look back and it's all in the past. You tell me how you live by all the things you do. Well, you can be yourself, but maybe I'm not you.
And it feels alright when they come and say to you, you're the only thing that makes us all.
Good evening and welcome along to NUFC Matters. Talk of the Toon with me and Sid. How are you, Sid?
Not bad. Just dashed back from the golf course, so I'm all right.
Very good.
Praying for sun, but it never happened.
No,
But,
how did you
hello
do?
everybody out there.
Did you have a good round?
All right, I think it's the best I can see. I played better.
Okay, good stuff. Newcastle played better than they did at the weekend, but let's focus on the positives first. I've called this sweet and sour week because we're going to have a look back at the Crystal Palace game first, and a 5-0 win, Sid, which was a great performance against a team that has been threatening the European places this season.
Yeah, dead unexpected. I mean, nobody predicted. What was the score again? Was it 5-1 or
5-0?
5-0. Good God, it just shows you how mad things go in such a short period of time. We were outstanding. That's one of the best performances I've ever seen from a black and white team. We were absolutely brilliant from start to finish. Yes, by about 70 minutes, we stopped and, just took our foot off the pedal and that. But we were absolutely brilliant. I mean, there was some star performances in that game. The midfield was tremendous. I mean, again, I keep saying it like stuck record. Tonali was just unbelievable. He was just everywhere, covered every blade of grass. He's just, there was no, I would say he couldn't cut out any real issues, but there weren't any because they were just so dominant. But he was my man of the match. I thought he was sensational. I thought Murphy was magnificent. And I don't buy into all this. He's having a purple patch malarkey because he's had 2 great seasons. The figures said he's got 2 great seasons. I just think he's improved significantly as a footballer. A purple patch is something that might last 4 or 5 months, not 2 years. Yes, he has some off games. Yes, he's not David Ginola or Nobby Solano, but he's a very good footballer. And I know there are calls for England and all the rest of it. And of course, he's not going to get ahead of Saka, is he? Who's a genuine player who could be a world-class footballer. But there's a definite reasonable shout for him to maybe get into the England squad. I mean, his figures are better than Bowen, for example, who's a very good footballer in my opinion. So why not? You know, why not? The lad's done brilliant. I'm not sure there's a better crosser of the ball in the league at the moment than Murphy. You know, his crossing is brilliant. You know, and it's always a quick first touch and then bang, straight in the box. Brilliant. Love to watch him. Had a great game, and that first goal was magnificent. It was like the Tonali goal, and he clearly looked up and he just absolutely smashed it. You know what was lush? Watching back on the highlights when I got in, and I'd had a few drinks now. I got in and I wanted to watch the match again like you do when we've won. And seeing Tonali running towards him, bounding towards him, and they were pointing at each other because they, basically recognising that it was a replica of the previous of that goal. You know, it was just superb, and superb to see Tonali really enjoying that moment as well and being part of that team. Brilliant. I thought Barnes was fantastic again. Really, really good performance going inside and out. And he went on the outside and smashed it across with his left. The guy can score with both feet, which is quite a rarity, to be perfectly honest. I mean, how many times have we seen in the past when a player kept cutting in to shoot with his other foot because he couldn't do it? So for him to be able to hit with either foot is superb. You know, it's a real skill. And he's a proper finisher. I mean, alongside Isaac, he's the best finisher in the club by quite a bit. What a and I said last week as well, a bit like Rob Lee, I think he's one of them who has to play 5 games to be proper match fit and really in, and he's looking really good. He's played really, really well, really, really good bit of form. So well done to him. And again, people like myself who doubted him, I have to openly say that, and he's proven me wrong. And an integral part of the team now, or an integral part of the squad who you can rotate with Anthony Gordon. Can I just add though, I don't like the fact that when Gordon comes on, it's Barnes who has to go onto the right-hand side, and he just dips out then. His form just drops, I'm not saying he doesn't try, but he's just not the same player. So stick Gordon on the right, and let him play there, because at the end of the day, Barnes is the man who's in form. So that's my only little gripe with regards to that. I thought we were just sensational the other day. I thought we were brilliant. Palace are a really good team. They'd only been beaten once since October away from home. And we absolutely tore them to bits.
Got to ask you about the penalty. Did you think it was a penalty? Forget about Nick Pope coming out that far. I watched it numerous times. I didn't think it was a penalty.
Not for me. I watched it, and when they blew for the penalty, I'll sit to the lad next to Steve and goes, "What's that for?" So that tells you, doesn't it? And we thought it was for maybe a handball. We thought Joe Linton had maybe handballed it. So we said, "Oh, it must be a handball." And I thought, "Oh, that's really harsh." And then when we found out at the half time why it was a penalty, because we couldn't hear it over the tannoy, we were like flummoxed. And of course, it's probably the second worst penalty I've ever seen at St James's Park. And I say the second worst because Bruno's penalty a couple of seasons ago is the worst penalty I've ever seen. That was so bad, it was unreal. So yeah, it's the second worst penalty I've seen at St James's Park. It was just terrible. I didn't understand it. What was great though when you watch it is how good Nick Pope is, because he feints to one side, looks like he's put his weight to one side. So Eze just thinks, okay, there you go, I'll just plonk it down the other side. And then he just flipped his weight down to the other side and caught the ball. And he was down on the ground before the ball even got to him. It was hilarious. Eze just sort of in a state of shock. The Pope, very, very clever. So all these guys who are doing that, I think they have to put a lot more pace on, don't they? And go for the corners. They can't just assume they can roll it down, because the keepers are cottoned on now that if you stand long enough, you're forcing them into some sort of movement, and you don't have a very big backswing on your leg. So, yeah, that was great to see. That was nice to see as well. But good save. Well done, Nick Pope. He was very good, actually. I thought, he was a bit mad coming out a bit, but it was never a penalty. And I don't quite understand it. And the referee, actually, let's pick up the referee. He had a good game. The referee had a good game. He didn't give the penalty. And, of course, he was pressurised by the VAR team, or he must have felt pressurised to then give it, because it wasn't clear and obvious. And the fact that you're waiting, and I keep saying this, you're waiting for I added 7 minutes on, so it worked out in our favour because I moaned like mad 7 minutes. But of course, we scored 2 goals in the 7 minutes, so it worked really in our favour. But if it's going to take over a minute, it's not clear and obvious, and there should literally be a stopwatch on the side counting down. And if it's not being made within that minute, referee's decision. Even if the referee has got it wrong, you go with the decision. That's my personal opinion, because I just think it's killing football. VAR, I hate VAR. But yeah, I thought we were brilliant. The crowd were excellent as well, because they were so flat against Manchester United, and yet they were the opposite. The ground was bouncing on the Wednesday night. It was a really great atmosphere, loads of noise from the start. Palace didn't bring many up, but it's a Wednesday night, to be fair to them, and then try and get back to London as well is a bit crazy. But yeah, it was fantastic atmosphere, and we just battered them. We were superb. So yeah, delighted with that one.
Yeah.
So brilliant for the suite.
Yeah, certainly was. And of course, Eddie Howe missing for this one as well. We'll talk about the Villa game in due course, but missing in action. And we're not getting a great deal from the club, which is only right. It's personal. It's medical. It's a medical situation.
Yeah.
We did get that little statement from him. Jason Tindall in his subsequent interviews has come out and said that he's not really had any updates, and he's in the right place, and we wish him well and we hope he gets better, which of course we have said on this show over the course of the last week. But yeah, it is, whether we like it or not, it's still going to change things behind the scenes, because Eddie's a big part of the club, big part of the club's success, big part of the lads' routine. As we know, he's in the training ground at 7 a.m. and, usually the last one to leave at 7 p.m. So he usually does a 12-hour shift. And that is going to play its part, no matter how much we, dislike it. It is going to play its part. He is a big miss.
Absolutely huge. He's the main man, isn't he? At the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, pneumonia is what they've said. And again, how long's a piece of string in terms of recovering from pneumonia? It can be anything from a couple of weeks to 6 months. So, good luck, don't get well soon, and don't do anything stupid in terms of coming back too quick. Just look after your health. That has to be the priority. Yeah. And I'm assuming, from my viewpoint, I'm assuming they're just assuming he's not coming back for the rest of the season. He might come back on the last game or something, but it would be the fact that he's just, I don't know. Is he actually out of hospital now? I think he is. I think I read it.
No, there's been nothing confirmed at all. Yeah. Stu Penman mentioned it Sunday. I saw some unsolicited social media account claiming that he was out of hospital, right, and wished him all the best. But there's been nothing official that I've seen. So in my mindset, until the club say Eddie Howe was out of hospital and recovering, then I would say no.
All right, that's fair dues. In that case, he ain't going to come back anytime soon, and we just have to make, as I say, a contingency plan. But the club is so well organised through Eddie Howe, of course, and Jason Tindall. They work as a pair. It's like the old Clough and Taylor partnership. The sort of yin and the yang, isn't it? And they work as a pair. So the other one knows the other person inside out. So because there's only a short period of time, everybody knows exactly how it works. And this is the moment as well where the senior pros come together as a team and step up, and make sure that everybody is playing, is just carrying on as before, and going along with the normal routine. And I'm sure the likes of Trippier and all of those will be ensuring that there's no slacking whatsoever. So I have no qualms with regards to that. The only downside, of course, is tactically. There might be issues, because I thought we were tactically done against Villa, but that's another story. And whether we got somebody who's on the sidelines who's quick enough to adapt, that's the only issue. But yeah, we just keep saying, just wish him well. It's a great bloke.
Yeah, no, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the game of the weekend. Newcastle United travelled to Villa Park. We knew it was going to be a tough game. I think we all expected Newcastle to come away with something. I certainly thought there was going to be goals in the game. I predicted a 5-goal thriller at the Villa. I thought that Newcastle would win 3-2. We didn't. We lost 4-1. What was it down to, do you think? Better team in Villa or Newcastle having to play the same team 3 times in the space of 6 days and just tiredness kicking in, or a combination of both?
Both, I think I went 2-2, but on last week's show, I said I would change the team. I said I would have put Kraft in as right back, and I think I said I would have put Gordon in somewhere, maybe he's in place of Isak, I think it was, until the last 30 minutes, just to change it. And unfortunately, the squad depth was shown in terms of they've got a better squad than us, and we've got a better first 11 than them. So all the guys they brought on in terms of the midfield, I can't remember his name, Onana and the other guy, they would have both got into our squad, absolutely, and been excellent substitutes to bring on. And same with the centre forwards as well. They've got depth, really good depth as well. But as I say, as a starting 11, there are not many that I would want to start with regards to Villa. But as an 11, as a squad, it's a really strong squad. I mean, I think their keeper would get, I think he's excellent. But I don't think there's many I would actually take as in terms of starters. But as a full squad, their squad's miles ahead of us, in my opinion. But it's very much of a sort of all the same. They're all good, very good players, actually. None of them are bad. They're all very good players. I think they're all top 6 players. But they don't have a guy, apart from the goalkeeper. I don't think they've got somebody you'd say, oh, he's absolutely world class. I don't think there's anybody that they've got that they own. And I'm not talking about the sort of the guy from PSG, because they don't own him. But they've spent an awful lot of money, and this is when you could argue that they've gone down the route of spending 96, 97% of their wage turnover, and Newcastle's is under 70, which is supposed to be if you're in Europe. But they're just going to take the financial hit, aren't they? Which probably won't be very much. And this is the time when the Premier League needs to step in, if there are rules and all the rest of it. And Villa are going to have to sell in the summer, irrespective. Even if they win the FA Cup and we get the Champions League, they're going to have to sell 1 or 2 players. So they've gambled and they've gone for it, and well done to them. That's entirely up to them. That's their, that's their viewpoint. We've gone very, very conservative on that front, and we've stuck to every rule, stringently, and never sort of wavered at all. And in fact, you could argue we've been super conservative on that front. Villa haven't, and it's just a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
I would like to see Villa, maybe he's in the top 5, obviously not at our expense, but maybe he's at the expense of Man City or Chelsea. That would be great to see, but I don't see. I think Man City will definitely get top 5. But yeah, I mean, they've just got a really good squad, and they absolutely outplayed us. Our team was just knackered by the time they got to the weekend, and you could see that not one of them could string a straight pass. I mean, the final third passing was awful. Nobody had it. Did anybody actually have a good game on Saturday? I would maybe argue Nick Pope. He was our man of the match. Dan Burn was all right. And that's probably it from my perspective. I mean, Shaw was pushing it for man of the match on Wednesday. I thought it was like a 9.5 out of 10. And he'd be lucky to get a 1 out of 10 on Saturday. He got torn apart. And this is when it sums up the squad depth, because ideally, Shaw can play certain games, but then you want to have a speed merchant in the right, because our right, Trippier got murdered on the right, in terms of speed. We had nothing. Everything went down our right-hand side, and they just kept targeting it over and over again, or through the middle, because they could just run through. And it was... I would have dropped back 10 yards. I thought they needed to drop back 10 yards and maybe either put another defender on as well and just try and soak it up and either go for the point or hit him on the break. But we were just absolutely outplayed and outclassed. You just have to hold your hands up. We were absolutely battered, but the midfield was terrible. Tonali was all right. Big Joe had a really poor game, and Bruno was awful. So there was nothing. There was nobody coming away with any sort of, you could say, had a really great game. Barnes was all right. Murphy was very poor. Isak was poor. And I keep saying, I don't think he's been fit. I don't think he was fit in the cup final. But, you know, it'll all come out in the wash, I suppose. I might be totally wrong. But, yeah, I just thought we were just rubbish. Now we just have to hold your hand up and got outplayed. And Villa, well done to them. Well done to them. They were excellent. And the manager did a job on. But it was just, I think it just exposed the lack of depth that we have. They've got about 20 players that they can interchange on a regular basis. And there's really no massive drop-off in quality whatsoever. And we've got 11 plus 2 or 3. And then there's a huge drop-off. I know I don't want to humiliate players by naming them, but there's a huge drop-off when you take off some of our star players and then you bring a substitute on, and we're clearly lacking in depth. So, and we can all see where. We can all see where. I mean, the 3 in the middle, you know, Bruno was awful, as I say, but we probably need to rest. And there are times when you got to drop players or rest them as well and have somebody of such quality that you can bring them on. You know, and if we'd had a Nana, he would have probably started on Saturday. You know, and you'd probably maybe have a Nana, you'd maybe have, I don't know, Tonali and another, or whoever you get in. I think we're a couple of players short in the midfield, I really do, to be able to mix and match and interchange. And, you know, this brings the question of what's going to happen with Miley. Because he ain't getting on. And if he's not, then what do you do? Do you loan him out next season because he's got to play football? He's got to get minutes in the bag now. He's in an age where he's got to start playing, or you sell him. And obviously that's not what I want to see. I mean, the real sickener, of course, is Elliot Anderson would have probably started on Saturday. You know, if he were here. So we need to have some players who can interchange, and there's no real drop off in quality, and we just don't have that. Where 5, 6, 7 players short of that, Steve, you know. You know, I mean, left back's great because I think you've got Hall or you've got Livramento who can play left back. And on the right, you've got Livramento, Trippier arguably as well, but you could argue that you maybe need another one with a bit of speed just in case. But then the 2 centre-halves, we've got to have 2 more centre-halves with pace, and Botman ain't the answer. He's a great left back, but he's got left centre up, but he's got no pace. So we've got to have somebody with pace to go alongside either him or Dan Burn, a proper speed merchant. And then again, in the middle of the park, 1 or 2 to cover those in the middle. I think we just need 1 on the right-hand side to sort of replace Murphy. Upgrade, as Kevin Keegan always used to say, buy better. And as I say, I think Murphy's improved significantly as a footballer. But if you can get somebody better, then do so. And then what a great way to put Murphy on as a backup sub. Fantastic, you know. And again, up front. So we are a few short. We all know the positions. We're just too many players short, unfortunately, you know. We just don't have the squad depth. But that could all be rectified now because we've just got 1 game a week now until the end of the season. So there's no excuses regarding fitness or anything like that. Everybody can just give it everything on the Wednesday or the Saturday night, whenever it is. I think it's Saturdays, isn't it? Or Sundays. And that's it. So, yeah, I mean...
There's the games left before we go to the ad break. Newcastle have got Ipswich at home this weekend, Brighton away, then Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, and Everton at home. How many points do you expect us to get from those? I'm going to go for an Ipswich, Newcastle resounding win there, 3 points.
Yeah, great.
I think we can get 3 points out of Chelsea at home. That would be 6. And I think we can get 3 points out of Everton, which is 9. The 2 away games, I'm going to go for a draw at Brighton, which will be 10. And I think Arsenal will finally beat the jinx against us this season and probably beat us. So I'm going to say we're going to get 10 points.
I'm going to be really conservative. I think we'll beat Ipswich. I think we'll draw at Brighton. I think this is the hard one. I think we'll beat Chelsea. I think we'll draw against Arsenal. And I think the Everton one's the hard one Because Everton, for me, I think if it would have been last game of the season, I'll say we'll win it. But if Everton had been earlier, I think that would be a really tough game. But I think they'll have actually spent themselves the week before with regards to the celebrations and leaving Goodison and all the rest of it. So, and they'll all have the deck chairs out at that point. So I'll go Chelsea draw then. So we'll go 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 points. And I think 9 points is enough for us to get Champions League. I think 68 points will get us there on goal difference. So, yeah.
All right. Great stuff. It's all about opinions. It's all about opinions. We are going to have a quick break for the ads, and then we will be talking music on Talk of the Toon on NUFC Matters. Big thanks to all our sponsors. Skips and Bins. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. Their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them, www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. Their website, mrvickies.co.uk. Email info@mrvickies.co.uk. Telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel, UK Coach Holidays. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2 crew, driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels, no interchanges. Hot and cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Their website, www.unitedgrouptravel.com. Email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com. Telephone 01670 632 460 or mobile 0791 666 4174. A big thanks to Media Arts for all the technical side of things. And if you want to listen to us as a podcast, you can find us on Sport Social Podcast Network. We're also available on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast providers. If you want to support the channel, then hit the subscribe button. We still do 7 shows a week. Hit the like button, which is the thumb underneath this video, and click share to your social media. You can also take out a monthly membership or an annual membership at nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. For the lifetime membership, you can pay £25 and get a pen, a beer mat, a fridge magnet, a badge and a keyring and your membership card and entry into the monthly draw. Some events coming up, 27th of June, 2025, the end of season party. Beresford, Howe and Watson will be at the Tyneside Irish Centre with Joe Allen in aid of North Tyneside Age UK. You can get your tickets for that one from nufcmatters.co.uk or from Woucher. No Covers takes place at the Clooney. That's on the 29th of June, midday till 3:45, and tickets are £10 from theclooney.com or newcastlelegends.com. Northern Horizon, a Blake 7 convention, takes place on the 9th of August, 10 till 4 at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Come and meet some of the cast and crew in aid of Age UK North Tyneside Dementia. Tickets from nufcmatters.co.uk. An evening with Peter Beardsley and Chris Waddle takes place on Friday the 23rd of January 2026 at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House. You can get tickets from the box office 0844 249 1000 or from tynetheatreandoperahouse.uk. And Bad Manners are back in the Northeast at the O2 City Hall, Friday the 30th of January 2026. Tickets from ticketmaster.co.uk. And we have copies of The Entertainer's book, signed by Les Ferdinand, available from nufcmatters.co.uk. And it's a big welcome to Rob, who will be taking us through some music. How are you, Rob?
Very well, Steve. How are you? And how are you, Sid?
Good to see you, Rob. Very well, mate.
All good.
you
And
could-
here's the album that you won't be reviewing this week: Sensuous Women and Men Together. Absolutely uncensored, dramatic action story. Rated XXX. Yes, well, another one which we won't be reviewing on the show today. But what are we reviewing? And you asked us to put you on big screen today, mate. So I'm going to go for that now. Here we go.
Yeah, thank you. Well, this is, I think a few weeks ago, I mentioned a band I really like and, you know, that side of stuff. And firstly, I'd like to ask the viewers as well, what was your first album you bought? What was your first single? What was your first gig? Now, my biggest regret was not seeing this band. The singer, Jeffrey Lee Pierce, passed in 1996. That's who's in the picture behind me. Very unusual, pretty mad man he was. He was also the president of Blondie's US fan club, hence that's why his hair's there. That's him there on the right, a young Jeffrey, yeah. He sat outside a shopping trolley outside Debbie Harry's changing room and refused to move till she came out, and they became really good friends. So anyway, this is a Gun Club. I bought this on cassette when it came out, 87. And I had when I saved up, got the original vinyl, and then got the reissue. And on the cover there, it does state, "Why are these songs not taught at schools?" And it's by Jack White. So yeah, very influential. So it's the fourth album. This was produced by Cocktail Twins, Robin Guthrie. Like I say, I mean, I was going to go and see them. It was a place called the Hoochie Coochie Club at Lothian Road in Edinburgh, and sort of just 2 minutes from a shop called Real Foods. I always remembered that. And, you know, it was that thing in time. It's like, I'll go and see them next time. And then he passed, and it's absolutely devastated. But it opens up with Bill Bailey. It's classic old school Gun Club, this one. If you don't know much about the band, you're either going to think, what's that? Or that's quite interesting. But it took me years and years and years to develop a mindset for Jeffrey Lee Pierce. It's, you know, you like him or you don't. But this one, Bill Bailey, it's about Nick Cave, a good friend. I'll go more into that at the end. It's basically, it's like a galloping song, and it's just, Jeff sings in the key of Jeff. Doesn't sing. He sings in the key of Jeff, but he does it his way. But yeah, it's unbelievable. Now you got track 2 is called Thunderhead, again, sung in the key of Jeff. So it's a strange review today, because I can't say it's got a really good part, that's a good part, but there's lots of interesting directions on them. It's typically, you know, punky swamp blues at its best for me. It's straight in your face, angst, you know, 100 miles an hour from start to finish. Got track 3, La Pizza Screams. For me, this is the best song on the album. Raw energy again, outstanding guitar solo. It reminded me, hence my biker's jacket at the back, of the old chicken dancing. So I did dig out my original 1980s Winkle pickers that are still there.
Yes, I used to have a pair of them, classics.
But did you have a pair of these?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I was just reminiscing, listening to this again, and it was just brilliant. I mean, I didn't see the Gun Club, but Kid Congo Powers, who left and joined the Cramps.
All
So
right.
I went to see his solo album, and he was playing Gun Club stuff. So yeah, we were facing the wall, chicken dancing, and just brilliant. It was like being back in the day again. Anyway, Yellow Eyes, track 4, you can guess what's this about. It's about heavy addiction issues. It's a really underrated song. It's really haunting. The vocals, the riff, the key changes on this are top drawer. I drift away in this song. It's brilliant, but it's a hard song about addiction and reality. Great guitar solo, you know, nice blues, underground vibe to it. It's really good. It's a great song. You've got track 5, The Breaking Hands. Now, if I was to suggest a song, it would be the single, The Breaking Hands of it. If you like Cocktail Twins, you would really like this song. It's just brilliant. You know, the lyrics on it as well. On my knees and praying, breaking hands. It's just about, you know, praying that hard, just looking for some sort of, you know, peace, serenity in your life. But again, the production of this song is outstanding as well. It really is. It's about praying too hard. You've got Arabai, Drum roll intro, really unusual chords and direction again from the full band. And then parts of it sound like a lullaby. It's like a childish lullaby that you would have a mobile above a cot, but play anything apart from the Gun Club on that, you know. They got track 7 called Hearts. Nice feedback and intro. It's like spoken word verses, and then bang. It's just savage. Clear-cut guitar playing, drops back into spoken word verse again, and repeat. Love it. It's just brilliant. There you go. My Cousin Kim. Again, unusual direction, solid drumming, really good bass playing by Romy Mori. Post-punk blues. Now, before Romy Mori joined the band, we had Patricia Morrison, who left the Gun Club and was the bassist, a hired hand, we'll call it, the Sisters of Mercy, and who's now married to Dave Vanian, or Vanian. And yes, they sleep in a double coffin, velvet lined. They do actually. That's a fact. Then you've got Port of Souls. The words again, it's pure poetry. I mean, Jeff read a lot. He was a deep reader. He was intense. But one line in it: too much ocean, too much sea, but it's all right. To me, is that hills and valleys, relationships, can't see the ocean for the rain, forest for the trees, that sort of thing. But it really gives me chills. It's quite an emotional, sad song. You know, it closes the album. It's simple chords, simple drumming, heavy bass playing by Romy Mori as well. And before Jeff passed in '96, I mean, he did find true love at the end with Romy. They'd done their last album. It's called the Jeffrey Lee Pierce Project. A lot of people, they'd done the whole mix. So a lot of people, musicians, got together and done the vocals. So this is including Nick Cave, Debbie Harry, Mark Lanigan, Lydia Lunch, Dave Gann, Henry Rollins, all put together the lyrics because he was a genius to me. And again, like I say, Kid Congo, Monkey Birds, brilliant. And there is we actually covered a song called Sex Beat, a gig we done, and Jackie Pierce, Jeff's sister, messaged me thanking me for keeping his brother's music alive. So it was really, really touching. And there is also a documentary, Ghost on a Highway. It's about the madness of Jeffrey Lee Pierce. And if you like, if you like that thing, I mean, Sid, you'll be well aware. You've got the birthday party there.
Yes.
Yeah, great band. I love that album. Again, swampy punk blues. Give the song Breaking Hands a listen to. It was just a musical genius. He was insane though, but he'd done it his way. And it's give it a 9 out of 10 because when I was doing it, it was what other Gun Club album could have done, which would have been the Las Vegas Story. But yeah, it's a 9 out of 10 for me.
Great stuff.
Okay, over to you, Sid.
Yeah, well, I've gone with something really obvious. A gate. In fact, they were doing it live on the telly the other day, and I thought, oh, that works really well. And it's a gateway album into the Rolling Stones. If you want an album that you think, right, well, I don't really know much by them. It's a great album. It's a 5-star album all day long, and it's Sticky Fingers. It really is a superb album. Released April the 23rd, 1971. So yeah, it's artwork by Andy Warhol. When you had the album, of course, originally you used to be able to undo the zip.
I have that one.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone assumed it was Mick Jagger, but it's not. It's one of Andy Warhol's factory men, isn't it?
That's right.
There's a huge debate on who it is. There's about 5 of them argue that it's them. But anyway, irrespective, I always thought it was Mick Jagger. I have to be honest, and I'm clearly wrong. But it's a great album. It was recorded between December 69 or late 69, all the way up to say 70, 71. It's the first album without Brian Jones. Mm-hmm. Although you could argue that the previous 2 albums were really without Brian Jones as well in many respects. Mick Taylor's just fantastic on this album on guitar. It really is the Stones at their best in some respects. The music covers rock, blues, and country rock as well. So there's a little variation of genres and a little bit of soul, actually. But it's just a great, great album. I mean, it kicks off with Brown Sugar. It's one of the greatest guitar riffs of all time. And sadly, it's one of them songs that they don't sing live anymore now because of the whole sort of, it's not PC, but it's a great song. And surely Jagger's not going around advocating what the song's about, but it's about the atrocity of the slave trade and rape, and Jagger's not saying it's a great thing, of course, but he's highlighting the lyrics. But it's a great song. It's a great song. It used to be a great end of gig song as well, with everyone doing the woo bit as well. I said, yeah, woo. That used to be good. That was brilliant, I'd love to see them bring it back. We've got other great songs on here. We've got Sway, which is absolutely fantastic. You've got Mick Taylor's guitar's brilliant on it. There's a lovely sort of groove going on it. So there's a lot of groove sort of type songs on this, and Charlie Watts is brilliant in terms of the drumming styles on this. When he's drumming on the album, he's not always on it because Jimmy Miller's on a few as well. Another similar sort of song is Can You Hear Me Knocking is fantastic, and you've got a brilliant sax solo in it as well. And again, you've got this sort of Latin feel on it. It's just magnificent. It really is brilliant. Got a few blues tracks on it. You've got a Move by Fred McDowell and Gary Davis. It's just brilliant, sublime slide playing on it. It's really slow, by the way. Really slow. But superb. We've got the song Bitch. Now, if the Stones do the song Bitch, why don't they do Brown Sugar? I don't understand. Because however, the title Bitch is hardly subtle, is it? And it's brilliant. It really rocks. The saxophone playing on it is magnificent. And it's a song I used to cover about 30 years ago when I was in a rock band called Cassius Clay. And we used to do that as one of the sort of encore songs. It was just superb. What a song. It really, really motors. We then got Sister More, other tracks on it, Sister Morphine. The song written by Marianne Faithfull mainly, with the help of Mick Jagger and Keith. About drug addiction. It's fantastic. Her version, by the way, is brilliant. Go and check it out. But the guitar playing on it is superb. The space on it is just marvelous. We've got Dead Flowers on the album, which is like a Birds song. It's got that sort of country twang. Jagger putting on that American country accent that he puts on. But he does it really well. So well done to him. And it's just superb. He's got the word Derby and he goes Derby, which is a bit strange. But it's just great. It's a great song. Excellent song. Again, it's a song that I'll cover myself when I'm playing solo gigs. And then Moonlight Mile at the end, which is really unusual. It's a real strange song. It's almost a little bit spaced out. It's a little bit pastoral, and it's superb. And you've got all these sort of bongos and just again tons of atmosphere on it. Superb song to finish the album with. So it's a top draw song, top draw album. I mean, that and Let It Bleed, they're the two. If you're unsure about the Stones, go and check them two out.
Yeah.
Exile's my favourite Stones album, but I certainly wouldn't say that's an album to start. So, yeah, brilliant album. So I've gone for a film next, Steve, from the same year, and it's The Magnificent Get Carter.
Yes.
Mark Myers mentioned it, so I said I'd have a quick look at it. It's a great film. I mean, I've watched it loads of times. I went to see it. It was either last year or the year before. My best mate Ian, and in London at BFI, and you had Michael Caine did a 10-minute video introduction beforehand, saying it was one of his favourite films that he's ever been in, and how much he loved being in Newcastle at the time, and how much he enjoyed making it. And I'm not telling you the whole story because it's just stupid. But I think it's the best British gangster film. There are other great ones out there, you know. You've got some superb films out there like The Long Good Friday and stuff, but this is just superb. Written and directed by Mike Hodges. It's got great cast. So Michael Caine. Yeah. Ian Hendry was originally going to be Jack Carter. John Osborne, the famous playwright's in it. Britt Ekland is stunning as ever in it, and superb in it. Alan Armstrong is a real star in this, and this really sort of kickstarted his career. The brilliant Geordie actor. Brian Mosley, also known as Alf Roberts. Now, I didn't know this, but MGM wanted Telly Savalas to play the role that he played, which I thought was amazing. I mean, I'm a huge Kojak fan. I mean, I watch them now, and it's brilliant. Go and watch it if you can. It's superb. I just couldn't imagine Telly Savalas playing that character. It just wouldn't have worked. And he's a sublime actor. So it's just brilliant. We've all seen the scenes. We all know the lines. You're a big man and out of shape. And when we went to watch it, Michael Caine mentioned a few of the lines, so they were very funny. He's like sort of paying tribute to himself in some respects. It's based on the Ted Lewis novel Jack Returns Home, about a London gangster who returns to his hometown in the northeast after his brother's mysterious death. He suspects foul play, and he's got vengeance on his mind basically, and investigates and interrogates a series of people. Now, it's set in Newcastle, set in North Shields, and bizarrely Blackhall and Hartlepool towards the end. But the real star of the show is actually Newcastle. It's actually the city itself. It's really grim. It's quite dark. It's a period that thankfully it's no longer like that anymore, because it's just awful. Parts of it are terrible, really, really dark and grimy. And I say that because part of it, where his brother's house is, was literally the next street, I think it was, where I was brought up till about the age of 5, and when we moved from a place called Morn Street in Benham, which is awful, and it was just grim, but the portrayal's superb. The director's caught it brilliantly, and he's captured that post-war period of time superbly. But at the time as well, they were knocking down the whole estate, so it's brilliant. The other big thing is the film starts with Jack Carter coming up to Newcastle on the train. We've got Roy Budd's magnificent theme tune. And they've got the guy in the cabin with the ring, and it's the same guy who appears at the end of the film with the shotgun. I'll not give the whole story. If you've never seen it, go and watch it. The film's violent. It's dark. It's got it's got like sort of various subplots with regards to it as well. I mean, Michael Caine is brilliant. He's hard without sort of being, ripped like King Kong or anything. He's just got this hard, gritty edge to him, and he's mean. And I think it works absolutely superb as a film. It's, as I say, one of the greatest soundtracks, some of the best casting that you could possibly imagine. And it encapsulates a period of time so well. It does. It does. Yeah, what a film! If you've never seen Get Carter, why have you not seen Get Carter?
Agreed.
Do not go and watch the terrible remake with Sylvester Stallone. And of course, Michael Caine would tuck any script, so he ends up in that as well, doesn't he? At some point, as a supporting character. But brilliant. He's got at least 10 classic films in the bag, and I think this might be the best one.
And Trinity Square now looks completely different. There's no flying Alf Roberts anymore.
No. Of course, you got the famous car park scene with Alf Roberts flying off the top.
Brilliant. And another thing said as well, you talk about Sticky Fingers. Then they re-released it. It was because people were taking it back because they were doing a zip up and down, and it was just scratching the record.
Yeah, is that right?
But I do have a zip copy of it.
Yeah, brilliant.
But
just quick thing about Get Carter as well. We talked about the time was the brutalist architecture, and it's just awful. Some of the architecture. Thank God that they've knocked some of this down, and I don't understand. Oh, please save it. No, it's awful. And they're talking about the East Stand at the moment. The East Stand is terrible, and yes, it fits in with brutal architecture, but it's awful. Why do you want to keep that sort of thing? I don't understand it. Terrible. But great film, one of the greatest films ever made. Yeah, there we go. I mean, dear me.
Yeah, we missed the car park. We miss it. I actually had a soft spot for it. But anyway, great to recap on that. I have been doing the album challenge this week. I went for an all-female week this week, so I went with Ella Fitzgerald and Souvenir album. I love this album. One of my mum's favourites, Ella Fitzgerald. So I'm the lonesomest girl in town. The one I love belongs to someone else, and baby, won't you please come home? Were my favourite tracks on that particular album. Joan Armatrading, another one, Walking the Ladders. Listen to a lot of Joan Armatrading over the years, but you remember me challenge, of course, is to listen to albums I haven't listened to in their entirety. It did remind me of trips in the car as a child with my family, but The Weakness in Me is my favourite song on there. I'm Lucky, and I Want to Hold You, but honestly, not really a bad track on that particular album for me. Kate Bush, another one which I listened to.
Classic.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Wuthering Heights, The Man with a Child in His Eyes, and Them Heavy People. But again, very difficult to find a bad song on that particular album. Pushed in the direction of Sade by Mark Byers this week. Sade and Diamond Life. It's a very chilled out album, this one. Smooth Operators on there. Your Love is King. And Cherry Pie. Quite like that one. I'd never actually heard that song either. Which is good. Now, I'd listened to all of Adele's albums, but I hadn't listened to Adele 30. This was pretty good. Easy on Me is obviously the one that charted quite heavily. It was their first song released off the album. Oh My God and I Drink Wine was a good one as well. I thought that was quite a good one for me. I Drink Wine, and I went back to my youth with Debbie Gibson, Out of the Blue. I went for a bit of pop. Went for a bit of pop this week, lads. Foolish Beat. I love that song. Only in My Dreams and Out of the Blue. I've got to be honest, by the time I finished listening to the album, though, lads, I was a bit sick of listening to the same songs time and time again. But there we go. Alison Moyer, Mozza, and Alf all cried out Love Resurrection and Invisible for me on that. I might give a little bit more attention to Alison Moyer because I haven't listened to many of her albums. So I might go back next year on that. And I finished with a bit of Whitney, lads. Again, so emotional. Didn't we almost have it all? What an anthem. And I want to dance with somebody. So that is my albums completed this week. I'm going to move on from females now, go back to bands. But great stuff. And I also took in some football this weekend, which wasn't Newcastle United related. I went to watch Gateshead play York. Gateshead went 1-up, but York pulled it back to go 1-1 in the first half. Second half, they ran out winners by 3-1. Gateshead then, of course, at the weekend compounded their Easter misery by getting beat at Hartlepool 3-2. So not a great weekend for the Heed Army, Rob.
No, it was disappointing, and obviously this result as well. But we needed the other scores to go for us, but it just never happened. But it's just, see the cover of Get Carter. I wish that was Gateshead's manager just now doing exactly what Michael Caine's doing in the dressing room. Absolutely amazing. So see, Steve. So next week, Steve will be reviewing albums by Sabrina. And
boys, great video. Great video. I might do Call on Me by Eric Briggs as well. Just want to watch the video. Great stuff, Rob. Thanks for coming on. Don't forget, if you've got a suggestion for Rob for an album to review, then please stick it down in the chat below and we will pick it up in due course. See you next week, Rob.
See you later, Rob. That was
gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Kate Bush was 12 when she wrote The Man with a Child in His Eyes, which is just insane. But there we have it.
Newcastle United take on Ipswich Town this coming Saturday, 3:00 kick-off, no TV coverage. Lewis Hall, Jamal Lascelles remain out, but there is optimism that Sven Botman could return. Fabian Shaw is in early doubt following his withdrawal during the loss at Villa, although that was described as precautionary to combat a hamstring issue. Ipswich Town, well, Sammy Schmoditz, Calvin Phillips, Arian Murich, Amari Gerard Hutchinson, Jardine Philigen, Shadozi Ogben and Wesley Burns are all unavailable. Connor Townsend and Nathan Broadhead are both doubtful. Ipswich Town are set to be without Leif Davis after the Toon supporting defender was red-carded during Sunday's 4-0 home defeat at the hands of Arsenal. Kieran McKenna's side have won 3 times on the road this season in the Premier League at Spurs, Wolves and Bournemouth. They've managed 5 away draws, taking points from visits to Brighton, Southampton, Fulham, Aston Villa and Chelsea. So not a bad run of form on the road. Ipswich's only away clean sheet came in the 0-0 draw at Brighton, which was way back in September. So, thoughts about this game and a prediction, please, Sid?
It's a strange one, isn't it? You know, I mean, I think we'll bounce back, obviously, and I think we'll win. I mean, that goes out saying. But it's a strange one because is it going to be like a 1-0 or something like that? I think they'll score first, and then I think we'll put 7 past them. So I'm going 7-1. There we go. It's out there. So yeah, I'm very confident about this one. If we don't win this, we don't deserve to get in the Champions League. It's as simple as that, you know. Everything's in our hands. So, and I expect us to get over the line. If you look by the current form, we're averaging 2 points a game. Got 5 games left. 10 points will get us in the Champions League. So, yeah, I'm more than
7-1. I'll be giving my prediction a little bit later in the week. But thank you to Sid. Thank you to Rob. Thank you to you for watching. We are back tomorrow. Take care. See you, Sid.
Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah.